Good, happy Tuesday morning, October 30th, 2018. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. Let's begin. First up, Derry State Representative calls assault lawsuit a political hit job. Let's take a listen to the video from WMUR News 9, Jess Moran.
Pushed out the door when it matters most. For more than a decade, he's been right there, everywhere. And when American jobs are on the line, he leads the charge. ABC's World News Tonight with David Muir is America's most watched newscast, and we thank you.
This is a political hit job. This is election season right now, and right now that's what you do is you accuse someone.
Frank Saporetto is defending himself to News 9 after a filmmaker in California filed a civil lawsuit against the New Hampshire state rep, claiming Saporetto assaulted him in June.
We're seeking both damages for the assault as well as punitive damages for the intentional conduct of assaulting Mr. Carter.
In the lawsuit, Jonathan Carter says he formed a company with Saporetto to produce adult movies and says Saporetto wanted to star in the first film. Carter's attorney says he has screenshots of Saporetto on camera with a woman.
I had 7 hours of video footage of Mr. Saporetto filming adult scenes.
Saporetto says it's all a scam, and he got into business with Carter thinking he did tourism.
I haven't seen any of these things, and again, he's a master. That's what he does for a living, and that's what he told me. If I didn't give him the money, he was going to destroy my political career.
The civil suit says Saporetto became upset during filming, and the next day he went to Carter's house and assaulted him, another claim Saporetto denies.
The police checked into all of that and found it was all untrue. All of this is what this is about. But since I had a previous issue that he figured he'd capitalize on that. This is a political hit job just before the election, and I've already got to file extortion charges against him.
Saporetto is running for re-election in Rockingham District 6. He believes those who know him know it's all made up. In studio, Jessica Moran, WMUR News.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. World Series champion Red Sox arrive back in Boston. Let's take a look at the video from WCVB Boston.
A hero's welcome home for the team that would not take no for an answer.
So we're very excited to see them come home. We have to cheer them on because, they win away. We have to be here to cheer them on.
Our Jorge Quiroga catching up with the pride of Puerto Rico, manager Alex Cora. What we did in 12 to 13 months here is incredible.
What do you have to say for the fans? Just in English,
Just enjoy it. Just enjoy it. Be safe and enjoy it.
Hats and beards were the dress code tonight as the Red Sox brought the championship title back to Fenway for the first time in 5 years. Fan favorites like Andrew Benintendi acknowledged the crowd as they headed out for a chance to finally sleep in their own beds tonight. The last time they were in town, they were still 2 games away. It took 3 long games to get it done, but this series was special, just like this team, and fans know it.
Been following the season since the beginning. I knew it was something special. I've been to 10 games total. This means a lot seeing this team pull it off.
There was a real blend of old and new faces here tonight. We also saw Pedro Martinez, of course, Jason Varitek, and Dustin Pedroia. Fans loved it and said they'll be thanking them all over again come Wednesday.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And a reminder, this coming Wednesday is the World Series Parade, the Death Boat Parade, and it begins at 11 a.m. Independent Alan Karen drops out of governor's race. Let's take a listen to the video from WMTW News 8 Maine.
They're both in remission, have the same pre-existing condition. But if Sean Moody becomes governor, they might not.
The independent candidates running for governor dropped his Blaine House bid today. Alan Karen announced he is bowing out of the race. That leaves Terry Hayes as the only independent candidate left in the contest, with Democrat Janet Mills and Republican Sean Moody.
WMTW News 8's political reporter Paul Merrill has been tracking developments and, of course, talking with the candidates. Paul.
Yep, it is now a three-way race, Hayes, Mills, and Moody, and it will stay that way. Independent Alan Karen pledged months ago to drop out in October if he thought he did not have a path to victory, and today he made good on his word.
Today I am withdrawing as an official candidate in this election.
Alan Karen's name will still appear on ballots next Tuesday, but any votes for him will not be counted. The Freeport consultant had been campaigning across Maine in an old RV, but his Blaine House bid never really picked up much speed.
We have to deal with practical realities. I am not going to win this race. Janet is going to win this race, and I want to be part of making that happen.
The Democrat turned independent bemoaned party politics, but today he and his wife threw their support behind Democratic nominee Janet Mills.
I feel like I'm going in a good direction. Just got to work my tail off for the next 8 days, and I'm glad to have help from able people and intelligent, responsive people like Alan Karen and Christina.
We asked Karen if he thinks the other independent in this race, State Treasurer Terry Hayes, should also drop out and pick a side.
I am not going to suggest what she should do. I hope only that she will find a few moments away from the vortex of the campaign to think about what she could do best to help move the state forward.
I will not withdraw.
With Karen out of the running, Hayes is painting herself as the only independent choice on Election Day. She says she will not drop out of the race.
I knew when I signed on for this task, which was literally in March of 2017, that there was going to be a Democrat and a Republican in the race.
Now, the response from a consultant for Republican Sean Moody begins this way. This is not a surprise in that Alan Karen was a longtime Democratic Party activist and commentator. The same is true for Terry Hayes, who is a former Democratic Party leader in the Maine legislature. Moody enrolled in the Republican Party a little more than 1 year ago. I'm Paul Merrill, WMTW News 8.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Here's what could turn this stock market sell-off around, according to investors. The stock market reckless tumble has many wondering what it would take to turn things around. Uncertainty has gripped stocks with the midterm election just a week away. Investors are wondering whether an era of deregulation, tax cuts, and pro-business policies will continue or be curtailed in the next Congress. Portraits of the 11 shooting victims in Pittsburgh. Let's take a listen to the video from ABC News.
Every child needs clothing to wear, and we discovered we can really help people with disabilities just by doing a few things differently with our Cat and Jack clothing. The really great part about working on this type of product is meeting the families.
I just hugged her. I just had to hug her and tell her how important this is. Thanks to the Cat and Jack adaptive line, Bentley just gets to be a kid for once.
And I'm hearing people screaming. And it's seared in my brain. I can't erase that tape.
Rabbi Jeffrey Myers says he will never forget the horror that happened inside this synagogue on Saturday morning.
I immediately announced to my congregation, drop to the floor, do not move, don't utter a sound, be still.
The gunmen then opened fire on the congregation as they gathered for services. The FBI says the shooter hurled words of hate against Jews as he murdered them. Police say that man is 46-year-old Robert Bowers. He appeared before a federal judge today in a wheelchair to face charges that he killed 11 people, setting in motion plans for federal prosecutors to seek the death penalty.
And rest assured, we have a team of prosecutors working hard to ensure that justice is done.
This is where Bowers will now be held. His neighbors say they never suspected anything, but it's his online world that reveals a different story. Posts like this one, calling Jews the children of Satan on the fringe social media site Gab, which has become popular among white supremacists and other alt-right activists and white nationalists who believe mainstream sites like Facebook and Twitter censor their radical views. As authorities continue to investigate, Rabbi Myers says he's now left planning funerals.
I have a job to do. I have a congregation to tend. And I'm here. And I'm here for them.
Tomorrow, the first of many funerals will begin, and the President and First Lady say they plan to be here with the community as well. Maggie Bruley, ABC News, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And that did it for the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you back here later on today for another newscast. Goodbye, everyone.